Pisces, welcome to my channel. My name is Kim and this is Vivacious Fox. I am going to be looking at doing a general love reading for the sign of Pisces for the second half of January 15th to 31st, 2020. I have already shuffled and pulled the spread for your reading. You have a lot of messages here that Spirit wanted to share with you today, so we will get started right away and hopefully get through everything as soon as possible. All right, so your overall messages for the readings today is extremes and action. So these cards, the card extreme, it's indicating that you've kind of been, I'm sensing, internally struggling with something. You're internally struggling with something against yourself. You're maybe essentially feeding into an energy or feeding into an extreme that isn't really necessary. It's a call to kind of take things more with a grain of salt, so to speak. It's about learning to deal with extreme or difficult situations in a more calm manner. Perhaps you've been feeling a little bit anxious, or it could be, I mean, it's a very heavy and a very intense card. So maybe you haven't been dealing with situations or that internal struggle within yourself as best as you could be. So this is a card to essentially seek balance out in yourself, to stop fighting against something and more to just kind of go about things in a more calm and effective manner, realizing too that anything in our life, any situation in our life can change instantly for better or for worse, depending on how we go about those situations. So, for example, perhaps a reoccurring situation is happening in your relationship and you're becoming very frustrated about it, and it's making you a little bit more anxious and angry when the topic comes up again and again. This might be a call to step back and take a look at things from a different perspective. That's just a general example for that card. But your second card is being followed up with a call to take action. So this is a card saying that now is you've handled things in a certain way for a certain situation, and it's not really bringing about anything positive for you. It's not bringing out any positive changes. So I think that this is really essentially a message for you to deal with the extremes in a more clear, calm, and focused manner and bring about, it's letting go of burdens. It's taking things step by step, even if, it doesn't have to be a major drastic change, but it's just taking that first initial step to gear yourself in a new direction. It could also be having something to do with there being a fear of change. I'm sensing it could be a bit of a resilience to a new approach to things, or a situation that's changing within you internally. So this is a call of action to stop feeding the fire that's within you and perhaps take a step back and approach things from a more calm, collective approach. Let's jump right into your tarot spread here. So again, you got the Chariot here to start with, which is representative of Cancer. So you could be dealing with somebody who has a sign of Cancer, or I'm getting the feeling though that this is more so to do with you. But essentially the Chariot is about overcoming the internal emotions and struggles that you're currently facing. It's you have the ability to move forward, and quite quickly. I mean, the Chariot is a forward moving card, energy and card, but there is a need to reconcile the internal struggles that are currently going on within you, which again kind of goes in with this card of extremes here, but then also with the card of actions. This card kind of falls right in the middle of the two of those. It's seeing things for what they really are. It's dealing with those internal conflicts and internal struggles and emotions that maybe you haven't been wanting to face, but as soon as you do, that does kind of catapult you on this path that's going to essentially lead you to be very victorious. And again, I'm seeing here following that, You got the Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles side by side. I have a feeling that maybe you've been fighting off some feelings that you didn't want to acknowledge. The Page of Cups, it's an offer of love. It also can represent reconciliation as well. So perhaps there's somebody from your past that you want to reconcile with. Perhaps it's an issue that's been going on in your relationship that you need to kind of come about in a different way, in a more calm and collective manner, to see things from a different side. But it is a sign that I'm getting the sense that you're wanting to move forward and you're wanting to offer this cup of love to somebody, but you're really holding yourself back. You're almost fighting yourself on it. And you really need to overcome that fear of change and that fear of those internal emotions that are within you in order to move forward so that you can do that. Because as soon as you do, you have the Page of Pentacles right next to it. And the Page of Pentacles represents a new beginning that's very stable. It's very secure. So with those two side by side, again, it is a new beginning. It is a fresh start. It is a message of moving forward, wanting to offer love to somebody. And in turn, that'll ultimately lead to a relationship that is very stable and secure. Going after that, you do have the World card, which is, this is a card that represents the completion of a cycle. It is everything. Essentially, the world is at your fingertips. So it's, you've kind of learned the spiritual lessons that you needed to learn, and now you just need to overcome those fears and those emotions so that you can move forward and make this offer. Or perhaps somebody is offering to you and you're kind of resistant to accepting that offer. But as soon as you do and you let down your walls and you kind of move forward and take action in these changes, the world is your oyster. You have everything coming for you. This is a card of, it's just an overall wealth of abundance and happiness. It's representative of a long-term, stable, committed relationship. And I'm even pulling the spread here, I was getting the feeling that this was more of a general love reading for the sign of Pisces. So I'm thinking that by seeing things from a different perspective, by letting down your walls and dealing with things, approaching things in a more calm and collective manner and taking action to overcome those fears, this will allow you to move towards that stable, committed relationship, that World card that's just, it's everything. It's the completion of what no longer serves you in the past. You've learned your lessons from those past relationships. You've learned your lessons from those past experiences. You're ready to step forward and take on an entirely new world for yourself. And that'll bring about this really strong, stable, long-term relationship. Followed after the World, you do have the King of Swords. This, I'm sensing that this is you. The King of Swords is, he's a master. He's somebody who's mastered his intellect. He's somebody who's really sat back and examined and analyzed the situation. And I think I'm getting the sense that you've already done this. Part of one of the downsides of the King of Swords is that he can often become a little bit too in his own head. It's somebody who overthinks things and worries about things too much. It is, again, swords are represented by air signs, and air signs are generally the intellectuals of the zodiac. They're the thinkers of the zodiac. So you're a little bit too in your head about something, and I'm sensing that this is more of a call for you to see things from your heart a little bit more than from in your head. It's stop reading into situations and stop being so paranoid and worried about the outcome of things. Or perhaps it's worry about a cycle repeating, or it's a worry about you repeating past mistakes from previous relationships. But with the World card and the King of Swords side by side, that's not going to happen again. It's that cycle, those previous lessons, they're done. You've moved forward. You are on an entirely new path here. And you just need to get out of your own way. Essentially, you are blocking yourself essentially from achieving this great deal of abundance that's right there in front of you. You're just, you need to follow your heart a little bit more. And I know for Pisces in particular, you are a very emotional sign, meaning that in the best way possible. You feel very deeply. You tend to think or tend to follow your heart, but when you do and it leads you into a situation that becomes scary, or you break it, essentially a situation that breaks your heart, you really put up a wall there. And it's saying this is essentially a time for you to step out of your own head, break down those walls, and start moving forward with your heart. Because you got the Magician card here at the end, and the Magician is the manifester of the zodiac, or of the tarot deck. It is, you have the Pentacles, the Cups, the Swords, the Wands. You have everything all on one. You have passion, you have emotion, you have stability, you have intellectual conversations. I don't, if that's not a sign of a good, stable, long-term relationship, I don't know what is. So yeah, it's just a matter, you need to really come to terms with what's going on in your own head. You need to essentially get out of your own head. You need to approach situations a little bit more differently, approach them in a more calm, collective manner, and then take action, move forward, get over those fears, worries, and doubts, and those internal struggles, because as soon as you do that, everything else is laid out for you. Get out of your head, get over those emotional struggles, and you're gonna move forward, and you're gonna have a long-term stable relationship. And you're manifesting this. This is something that you've manifested. So this is Spirit essentially saying to you, stop dragging your feet, move forward. Kick it into gear, high gear, Pisces. Let's get one final message for you. One final message for Pisces, January 15th, 15th to 31st. 15th to 31st for Pisces. One more message for Pisces for January 15th. What message do we have for Pisces? Okay. You got two cards. Blessed and Building Blocks. So, I mean, this card pretty much speaks for itself. It is, also to notice here, it is card number 22. 22 is very powerful card in numerology. It is a master number. It's a lot to do with balance. It's a duplicate of the number of 11, which is the spiritual number. It's the manifestation number. You're blessed. You have everything going for you. You have the world at your fingertips, but you really need to embrace that, and you need to step forward and take on these opportunities and these blessings that are being laid out right in front of you. You also have building blocks. And again, number 28. Number 8's numerology generally represent harmony and balance as well. So again, keeping in mind here that there is a need to kind of even out the playing there for you, and there is a need to step away from those extremes, take action, overcome your internal struggles so that you can move forward. And you do this by building blocks. It's, as I said before, it could be a step-by-step action. It doesn't have to be lunging in, and because changes, as we all know, can often be very scary. So take it step by step, just go about. But you are blessed, and you are being blessed with your manifestations. You are bringing about the relationship that you're looking for. Anyways, that's what I have for you, Pisces. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks.